The Outer Wilds. This game is something else. It's hard to even describe it without spoiling anything, which is tough because the less you know going in, the better, but I'll try. It's a game about space and time and loops. You're an astronaut exploring a solar system, but it's not like any solar system you've seen before. Everything's changing, everything's on a timer, and you're stuck in a 22-minute loop. So you've got to figure things out fast. You're exploring planets, reading ancient texts, trying to piece together what's going on, and every time the loop resets, you start over, but you keep what you learned. It's like Groundhog Day in space. The cool thing is, it's all about discovery. The game doesn't hold your hand, it just gives you this world and says, go explore, and you do. You follow clues, you make connections, and you slowly unravel this mystery. It's incredibly satisfying when you finally figure something out. The planets are all unique too. They're not just generic space rocks. They've got their own quirks, their own secrets, and the way they change over time is mind-blowing. It's like the whole solar system is alive. It's not a combat game, really. It's more about exploration and puzzle solving. You're using your brain, not your reflexes. And the story, it's a really good story. It's about the nature of time and the universe. Spec Ops: The Line. Spec Ops: The Line is not what you think it is. You start the game expecting a typical military shooter, big explosions, slow-motion headshots, and some tough guy soldier dialogue. But then it pulls the rug out from under you, slaps you in the face, and asks, "Are you really the hero here?" You play as Captain Martin Walker, leading a small squad into a ruined, sandstorm-covered Dubai to track down a missing commander, Colonel John Conrad. At first, it seems like just another mission. Go in, find the guy, get out. But pretty soon, everything starts falling apart. The deeper you go, the worse it gets. The people you thought were enemies might not be. The things you're doing in the name of justice start feeling really freaking wrong. And by the time you realize what's happening, it's too late to turn back. Gameplay-wise, yeah, it's a solid third-person shooter. Cover, shoot, repeat, but let's be real, that's not why people remember this game. It's the story, the choices, the slow unraveling of everything you thought was true. It forces you into horrible situations where there are no good answers. And the worst part, you're the one pulling the trigger. There's one moment, the moment that hits like a truck. If you've played it, you know exactly what I'm talking about. If you haven't, brace yourself. This game doesn't hold your hand, it breaks you. And the thing is, Spec Ops: The Line never glorifies war. It's not about being the badass action hero. It makes you question everything you've done. By the end, you don't feel powerful, you feel guilty, confused, maybe even sick. And that's the point. It's been over a decade, and no other military shooter has done what this game did. It's bold, it's brutal, and it's one of the most unforgettable stories in gaming. If you haven't played it, don't go in expecting Call of Duty. Go in ready to see just how far a game can push you. Sleeping Dogs. Sleeping Dogs is an awesome game that more people need to play. It's like an action movie where you're the star, and it's packed with cool fights, car chases, and a story that pulls you in. You play as Wei Shen, an undercover cop trying to take down a dangerous gang in Hong Kong. The story is intense, with lots of twists and moments that show Wei struggling to balance being a cop and fitting in with the gang. It makes you care about what happens to him.
And you took over, right? So in a way, the gun is...
The game is set in a detailed open-world version of Hong Kong. The city feels alive with busy streets, night markets, and tons of things to do. You can race cars, do side missions, or just explore and take in the sights. It's not the biggest map, but it feels packed with personality. The combat is a big highlight. It's all about hand-to-hand fighting with smooth moves and cool counters that make every punch feel satisfying. You can grab enemies and use the environment like slamming someone into a phone booth or tossing them into a fish tank. It's so much fun. The driving is just as good. The car chases feel fast and action-packed, with the ability to jump between vehicles or take out enemies in style. There's also a lot of shooting, but the focus on martial arts and driving makes it stand out from other open-world games. Sleeping Dogs is one of those games that doesn't get talked about enough. It's exciting, the story is great, and the world feels unique. If you like games with action, drama, and a cool setting, this one is definitely worth playing. Titanfall 2. Titanfall 2 is one of the best FPS games ever made, no contest. It didn't get the attention it deserved when it came out, but anyone who's played it knows it's a straight-up masterpiece. It's got a killer campaign, incredible gameplay, and some of the smoothest movement you'll find in any game. The single-player story is where it really shines. You play as a grunt-turned-pilot, Jack Cooper, who teams up with a Titan named BT-7000, 274. Their relationship is the heart of the game, and it's so good. BT is funny, loyal, and honestly one of the best robot companions in gaming. The story isn't long, but it's packed with variety. Every level feels different, from time-traveling puzzles to insane wall-running set pieces. It's short, sweet, and hits all the right notes. The gameplay is just perfect. The movement is what makes it stand out. Wall running, double jumping, and sliding all feel so smooth. The way you can chain everything together makes you feel like a total badass. And then there's the Titans. Piloting BT in these big chaotic battles is an entirely different kind of fun. You've got a bunch of different loadouts to switch between, and each one feels powerful and satisfying. Multiplayer is just as amazing. It's fast, competitive, and so much fun. You're running around as a pilot, taking out enemies with precision, and then calling down your Titan to completely dominate the battlefield. The mix of on-foot combat and giant robot action is like nothing else out there. It's hard to believe something this polished didn't blow up like it should have. Titanfall 2 is the kind of game that leaves you wondering why more people didn't play it. It's exciting, creative, and just plain fun from start to finish. If you love FPS games and somehow missed this one, it's time to fix that. It's better than you've heard. Uncharted 2 Among Thieves. This game is just so good. Like seriously, it's one of those games that everyone talks about when it came out, and for good reason. It's an action-adventure game, and you play Nathan Drake, this guy who's basically a professional treasure hunter. He's always getting into trouble, but he's also really charming and likable. This time around, he's after this mythical city called Shambhala, which of course is rumored to be full of riches. The story is your classic treasure hunt, but it's told in a really exciting way. There are twists and turns, double crosses, all the good stuff. What really makes Uncharted 2 special is the pacing. It never lets up. It's constantly throwing new things at you. One minute you're climbing up a crumbling building, you're in a firefight, then you're solving a puzzle, and then bam, you're in one of these massive set pieces. And the set pieces, man, those are insane. They're these huge cinematic moments that are just wow. Think buildings collapsing, runaway trains, narrow escapes, all that kind of crazy action. They're so well done, and they really make the game feel epic. The characters are great too. Nate is a fun protagonist, he's witty and sarcastic, but he's also got a good heart. And the other characters are just as good. They're all well developed and they have their own personalities. You actually get to know them and care about what happens to them. The relationships between the characters are a big part of what makes the story so good. They banter, they argue, they have each other's backs, it feels real. The gameplay itself is really smooth, the climbing feels natural and fluid, the shooting is solid, it's not super complicated, but it's satisfying, and the puzzles are challenging enough to make you think, but they're not so hard that you get stuck for hours. It's a really good balance, everything just works together seamlessly.
Nice!
Uncharted 2 is a must-play for anyone who likes action-adventure games. It's a classic for a reason. It's got a fantastic story, memorable characters, and some of the most impressive set pieces you'll ever see in a game. It's just a truly fantastic game that's definitely worth playing. It's a great example of how to make a thrilling and engaging action-adventure game. It's the kind of game that you'll want to play through again and again.
Been a while since I robbed the bank. I'm looking forward to this.
Red Dead Redemption 2. This game is just massive, it's huge, like seriously you could spend weeks just wandering around and still not see everything. It's an open world western and you play Arthur Morgan. He's part of the Vanderlyn gang and the story is all about the gang's decline. It's not just about outlaws and gunfights, it's about these people, their relationships, and how they're all struggling to survive. It's a long and involved story and honestly, it's one of the best I've ever experienced in a game. What really makes Red Dead 2 special is the world they've created. It's absolutely stunning. It's not just big, it's incredibly detailed. You can ride for hours and stumble across all sorts of interesting things. Small towns, hidden cabins, random encounters with people. It feels like a real place. There are mountains, forests, deserts, swamps. It's incredibly varied, and it all looks so good. It's a world that invites you to explore. The characters are fantastic too. Arthur is a really complex character. He's tough, he's a bit of a cynic, but he's also got a sense of loyalty and a hidden soft spot. And the other members of the gang are all memorable. They've all got their own personalities, their own motivations, and their own backstories. You get to know them really well and you actually start to care about what happens to them. The story is as much about these characters and their relationships as it is about the gang's downfall. It's a character-driven story, and it's done really well. The gameplay is a mix of a lot of different things. Obviously, they're shooting, and it's solid. It's not super innovative, but it's satisfying. The horse riding is great. Your horse isn't just a vehicle, it's like a companion. You can bond with it, take care of it, and it feels like a real connection, and there are tons of other things to do. You can hunt animals, rob banks, play poker, go fishing, or just wander around and see what you can find. There's always something to do. Red Dead Redemption 2 is a masterpiece. It's a huge and ambitious game, and it pulls it off. It's got a fantastic story, memorable characters, a stunning world, and a ton of stuff to do. It's a game that you can easily sink hundreds of hours into, and it's an experience you won't forget anytime soon. Marvel's Spider-Man 2018. Marvel's Spider-Man 2018. It's a fantastic game. It really captures what it feels like to be Spider-Man. Swinging through New York City is just incredibly fun. They nailed the movement. It's fluid and intuitive, and you feel like you have real control. It's not just about getting from point A to point B. It's about the joy of swinging itself. They've got the physics down, and pulling off tricks and flips feels great. Beyond the traversal, the combat is also really well done. It's fast-paced and acrobatic, and there's a good variety of moves and gadgets to play with. You can really get creative with how you take down enemies, and it's satisfying to master the combat system. It keeps things interesting. The story is surprisingly engaging. It's not just a generic superhero plot, it's a personal story about Peter Parker and his struggles. Balancing his responsibilities as Spider-Man with his personal life is something a lot of people can relate to. The characters are well developed, and the voice acting is excellent. You genuinely care about what happens to them. New York City itself is a character in the game. It's beautifully recreated, and there's plenty to do, collecting backpacks, stopping crimes, completing side missions. It feels like a living, breathing city, and it's a joy to explore. It's a great open world version of New York. Marvel Spider-Man is a great superhero game and a great game in general. It nails the feeling of being Spider-Man, and it's just a lot of fun to play. It's easy to see why it's on so many people's lists of perfect games.
We're almost at the summit.
God of War 2018. They took God of War, which was already a big, bombastic action game, and they completely reinvented it. It's not just a reboot, it's a whole new take on the series, and it's done so well. They changed the camera angle, they changed the whole tone, and it just works. It's a more mature, more emotional story, and it's told with a lot more depth than the older games. What really makes this God of War special is the relationship between Kratos and his son Atreus. It's a father-son story at its heart, and it's what drives the whole game. Kratos isn't just this rage-filled killing machine anymore. He's still tough, obviously, but he's also a dad trying to protect his kid and teach him how to survive in this dangerous world. And Atreus, in his own way, helps Kratos to become more human, I guess. Their dynamic is complex and believable. They argue, they disagree, but they also care about each other. It's a really compelling relationship, and it's what makes the story so engaging.
The world serpent.
The gameplay is fantastic too. The combat is brutal and satisfying. The Leviathan axe is a brilliant weapon. Throwing it and recalling it is just so cool, and there are tons of different moves and abilities you can unlock. It's fun to experiment with different combat styles and find what works best for you. And it's not just about fighting. There's also exploration and puzzle solving, which adds another layer to the gameplay. You're not just hacking and slashing, you're also exploring this amazing world and using your brain a little bit. And speaking of the world, Norse mythology is brought to life in such a cool way. It's a stunning and immersive environment. Exploring it is a joy in itself. There are so many hidden areas, secrets to discover, and bits of lore to find. It feels like a real place with its own history and mythology. Detroit Become Human. This game is a bit different from your usual video game. It's more like an interactive movie, really. You're not just shooting stuff or jumping around, you're making choices that actually change the story. You play as 3 different androids in Detroit, and their stories are all connected. There's Connor, who's this police android. He's programmed to hunt down other androids that have become deviant, which means they've started to develop feelings. Then there's Marcus, who becomes the leader of a whole android revolution, fighting for their rights. And finally, there's Kara, who's an android trying to protect a little girl from her abusive owner. So you're juggling these 3 different perspectives, and they all have their own struggles. What's really cool about Detroit is how much your choices matter. Even small decisions can have a big impact on what happens later. Characters can live or die depending on what you do, and there are tons of different endings. It really makes you think about the choices you're making because they have real consequences. It's not just about getting to the end, it's about how you get there.
He saved us. Quick, run!
The game looks amazing too, the graphics are really detailed and the actors do a great job. The motion capture and voice acting are top-notch, so the characters feel really believable. It's almost like you're watching a movie, but you're also in control of what happens. It's a very cinematic experience. It's not going to be everyone's cup of tea. If you're looking for a fast-paced action game, this probably isn't it. But if you enjoy story-driven games with meaningful choices and you like to ponder philosophical questions, then Detroit Become Human is definitely worth checking out.
God. Any idea where the pharmacy keys might be?
The Telltale Walking Dead Season 1. Man, this game, it's not just a zombie game, it's a story. A really, really good story. It's a point-and-click adventure game, which might sound a bit old school, but trust me, it's something special. You play Lee Everett, he's got a pretty messed up past, and then boom, zombie apocalypse. And on top of that, he ends up having to look after this little girl, Clementine. What makes this game so powerful is the relationship between Lee and Clementine. It's like a father-daughter thing, and it's incredibly emotional. You genuinely care about Clementine. You want to protect her, you want to teach her, and you feel responsible for her, and the choices you make as Lee directly affect how Clementine grows and how she sees the world. It's a huge weight on your shoulders as a player, and it makes the whole experience so much more impactful. It's not just about surviving, it's about shaping Clementine's future. The story itself is just, wow, it's gripping, it's unpredictable, and it's full of twists and turns. You never know what's gonna happen next, and the characters are so well developed. It's not just about the zombies, it's about the people, how they react to this insane situation, how they deal with loss, how they try to survive. It's a very human story, even though it's set in a world full of undead. It explores some pretty heavy themes like morality, survival, and what it means to be a good person in a bad situation. The gameplay is pretty simple. You mostly make choices in dialogue and during quick-time events. But those choices, they have real consequences. They change the story, they affect the characters, and they determine the ending. It really feels like your decisions matter, and that makes the game so much more engaging. You're not just watching the story unfold, you're actively shaping it.
Son of a
No!
All right, Lara. That bridge is swarming.
Tomb Raider, the 2013. This game is a reboot of the old Tomb Raider games, but it's not just a rehash. It's a whole new take on Lara Croft, and it tells her origin story. It shows how she becomes the Lara Croft we all know. She's not some super confident, gun-toting adventurer from the get-go. She's actually scared and inexperienced at the start. It's a survival story, and it's a pretty compelling one. What makes this Tomb Raider so good is Lara's character development. You really see her grow and change throughout the game. She goes through a lot, both physically and emotionally. She gets shipwrecked, she has to fight for her life, and she faces some really tough choices. It's not just about her finding treasure, it's about her becoming a survivor. And because she starts out so vulnerable, you really connect with her struggles. She feels more real, more human. She's not just some invincible action hero. She has to earn it. The gameplay is a great mix of different things. There's exploration, puzzle solving, and combat. The island setting is beautiful, but it's also dangerous. There are tons of hidden areas to discover, and it's fun to explore and find all the secrets. The climbing and traversal mechanics are really smooth and enjoyable. It feels great to swing, jump, and climb around the island. And the combat, while not super innovative, is challenging and satisfying. You have to use cover, you have to be smart about your attacks, and it can be pretty intense. It's a good balance of different gameplay elements. Tomb Raider 2013 is a must-play for fans of action-adventure games. It's a fantastic origin story that does justice to the iconic Lara Croft character. It's a great example of how to reboot a classic franchise and make it feel fresh and relevant.
Take it easy, man. I'm just asking.
Batman Arkham City. This game is just awesome. It takes everything that was great about Arkham Asylum, which was already a fantastic game, and makes it even bigger and better. It's set in this massive prison city, Arkham City, and it's absolutely packed with stuff to do. You play Batman, obviously, and you're trying to stop all these villains, Joker, Penguin, Two-Face, the whole gang, from causing chaos.
Who you are when we're done.
What makes Arkham City so good is how well it combines the combat, the exploration, and the story. The fighting is just so satisfying. It's that free-flow combat system where you can chain together combos and take down groups of enemies with style. It makes you feel like a total badass. You can punch, kick, counter, use gadgets. It's just so much fun to mess around with different moves and find what works best for you. It's fluid, it's responsive, and it makes you feel like you're Batman. The exploration is also top-notch. Arkham City is huge, it's an open world, and it's full of secrets. You can glide around, grapple onto buildings, and find all sorts of collectibles. Riddler trophies, hidden challenges, all that good stuff. It really makes you feel like you're Batman, patrolling the city looking for trouble and uncovering all the hidden stuff. It's a great open world to explore with lots of nooks and crannies to discover, and the story is actually really good. It's not just some simple superhero plot. It's a complex and engaging narrative with plenty of twists and turns. The villains are all memorable, and they're all well acted. Mark Hamill as the Joker is just iconic. The voice acting in general is superb. It really brings the world of Batman to life. It's a story that keeps you guessing, and it's a story that you actually care about. Batman Arkham City is a must-play for any fan of superhero games, or action games in general. It's a classic for a reason, it's got great combat, fantastic exploration, and a compelling story. It's just a truly exceptional game that sets the bar high for superhero games. It's the kind of game that you can play again and again, and you'll still find new things to discover. It's just a fantastic experience from start to finish.
With an exciting new opportunity.
Mass Effect 2. So Mass Effect 2, man, this game, it's just so good. It takes everything that was cool about the first Mass Effect and makes it so much better. It's a space opera, right? Big story, lots of aliens, saving the galaxy, all that good stuff. But Mass Effect 2 really focuses on the characters and their relationships, which is what makes it so special. You play Commander Shepard, and your mission is to stop these alien guys called the Collector. They're bad news. What really sets Mass Effect 2 apart is your crew. You have to recruit all these specialists, and each one has their own unique skills and personalities. Getting to know them, earning their loyalty, and seeing their stories unfold is a huge part of what makes the game so engaging. It's not just about saving the galaxy, it's about the people you bring with you on that journey. They become your team, your friends, and you genuinely care about what happens to them. It's like building your own spacefaring family. The gameplay is a fantastic mix of action and RPG stuff. The combat is way better than the first game. It's more fluid, more tactical. You can customize your weapons and abilities, and you have to think about your strategy because different enemies require different approaches. It's challenging, but it's also really rewarding when you pull off a good plan and take down a tough enemy. It's not just about shooting, it's about using your team's abilities effectively. And the story is epic. It's full of twists and turns, and the choices you make actually matter, like really matter. Some of your squad mates can even die depending on what you do. That adds so much weight to your decisions. It's not just a game, it's an experience where you have to live with the consequences of your actions. It makes you think about the cost of leadership and the sacrifices you have to make to achieve your goals. Firewatch. It's a really different kind of game. It's not about shooting or fighting or anything like that. It's more about, well, it's about talking to someone and exploring. You play this guy, Henry, and he takes a job as a fire lookout in the Wyoming wilderness. So you're all alone in this tower, and your only contact with the outside world is this radio. You talk to another lookout, Delilah, and that's basically the whole game.
Hello? Whoever this is?
It's Henry, right?
Yeah.
I'm Delilah.
Yeah, that's what the guy said on the phone.
You're walking around the forest, exploring and talking to Delilah on the radio. She's your only connection to another person, and you get to know her really well through these conversations. They're funny, they're personal, and they feel really real. It's like you're actually talking to a friend. The setting is really cool too. The Wyoming wilderness is beautiful. It's a big open area and it's fun to just wander around and see what you can find. There's this sense of isolation, being all alone in the woods, but it's also kind of peaceful. It's a really immersive environment. As you're exploring, you start to uncover a mystery. It's not a big action-packed mystery, but it's intriguing. It keeps you wondering what's going on. But honestly, the mystery is almost secondary to the relationship between Henry and Delilah. That's what makes the game so special. Firewatch is a short game. You can probably finish it in a few sittings, but it's a memorable experience. It's a unique game, and it's a great example of how video games can tell really personal and intimate stories. If you're looking for something different, something that's more about atmosphere and character interaction, you should definitely check it out. It's a game that stays with you after you've finished play. It's not about the action, it's about the connection you make with Delilah and the world around you.
Good. Thanks for going down there.
He's coming!
Ha! Bloody brambles!
A Plague Tale Requiem. Imagine a game set in medieval France, but it's absolutely overrun with rats. Like millions of rats. Swarming, overwhelming, terrifying rats. That's A Plague Tale Requiem. It's a stealth action game, but it's also a deeply emotional story about family, survival, and the horrors of the plague. You play Amicia, and her little brother Hugo is still the focus. He's got this connection to the rats, and it's both a blessing and a curse. The story picks up where the first game left off, and it's just as intense, if not more so. They're trying to find a cure for Hugo's condition, but they're constantly on the run from both the Inquisition and the literal waves of rats. What makes this game so good is the atmosphere. It's dark, it's gritty, and it's incredibly tense. The environments are beautifully realized, but they're also filled with danger. You're constantly sneaking around, trying to avoid guards, and trying to manage the rat swarms. And those rats, they're genuinely terrifying. They're not just a background detail, they're a constant threat. They can overwhelm you in seconds if you're not careful. The gameplay is a mix of stealth, puzzle solving, and a little bit of combat. Amicia isn't a warrior, she's resourceful, she uses her slingshot, her wits, and the environment to her advantage. You're often trying to find ways to manipulate the rats using fire and light to create paths and avoid being devoured. It's not just about fighting, it's about survival. And the relationship between Amicia and Hugo, that's the heart of the game. They're so close, and Amicia is fiercely protective of Hugo. You really feel her desperation to save him. Their bond is tested throughout the game, and it's a really emotional journey. It's a story about family, about love, and about the sacrifices you make for the people you care about. Plague Tale Requiem is a longer game than the first one, and it expands on the story and the gameplay in some really interesting ways. It's a challenging game, but it's also incredibly rewarding. It's a game that will stay with you long after you've finished playing it. If you enjoyed the first game, you absolutely have to play this one. It's a fantastic continuation of the story, and it's a truly memorable experience. It's a dark, emotional, and intense journey, but it's one that's definitely worth taking.
I'll teach you to kill my head.
The Mafia 2. Picture this. 1940s and 50s America, a sprawling city, and you're right in the thick of the mob scene. That's Mafia 2. It's an open world game, sure, but it's not just about causing chaos. It's way more focused on telling a story, a gangster story, and it does a pretty decent job of it. You're Vito Scaletta, an immigrant from Sicily who ends up getting tangled up with organized crime. The game follows his life basically as he works his way up the mafia ladder. You're dealing with rival gangs, crooked cops, and all the drama that comes with being part of a crime family. It's a familiar kind of story, the rise and fall of a mobster, but they tell it in a way that keeps you interested. What really makes Mafia 2 work is the atmosphere. They really nailed the time period. The city, Empire Bay, feels like a real place from the 1940s and 50s. The cars, the music playing on the radio, the clothes people wear, it all adds up to create this immersive experience. It's like stepping back in time. And it's not just the city. The story is pretty character-driven too. You get to know Vito and the other guys in the family, and you start to care about what happens to them. It's not just about the gunfights. It's about the relationships and the struggles these guys face. The gameplay is a mix of a few things. You're driving around the city, which is actually pretty fun, especially when you're listening to the period-appropriate radio stations. There's shooting, which is your standard third-person shooter stuff, but it gets the job done. And then there's some hand-to-hand combat, which is okay. It's not the most innovative gameplay you'll ever see, but it's serviceable. Uncharted 4. Imagine you're Nathan Drake, and you thought you were done with all the treasure hunting stuff. You're trying to live a normal life, but then your brother Sam shows up out of nowhere. Turns out, he's in a jam, and you're the only one who can help. He's got this lead on some lost pirate treasure, and you just can't resist.
Fresh citrus,
This game, man, it looks good. Like, the places you go, they're not just pretty pictures. You'll be climbing cliffs where you can almost feel the wind, exploring jungles where you can practically smell the damp earth, and poking around ancient ruins that feel like they've been forgotten for centuries. It's like being on a really cool vacation, but with way more danger. And the action, it's like you're in a big budget movie. You'll be in car chases that make you hold your breath, shootouts that feel intense, and these climbing sequences that make you wonder how Nathan doesn't just fall. You get to use a grappling hook, which is super fun, and you'll be using it to swing across gaps and outsmart enemies. It's not just shooting, it's about using your environment to your advantage. The story's not just about finding treasure either, it's about family. Nathan and Sam have this complicated relationship and you'll see them argue and work together. There are twists and turns that keep you guessing and you'll meet some interesting characters along the way. It's not just a mindless action game, it's got some heart.
Where is it now?
Basically, Uncharted 4 is a game that makes you feel like you're on a real adventure. You get to explore amazing places, get into crazy action scenes, and follow a story that's actually pretty good. It's a fun game to play if you like action and adventure, and it's a good way to spend a few afternoons. The Last of Us Part 1. Imagine the world's gone sideways, a weird fungus thing has turned a bunch of people into these scary, clicky monsters. It's not like your usual zombie apocalypse, it's grittier, more real feeling. You're Joel, a guy who's seen some serious stuff. He's not a superhero, he's just trying to survive. He gets this job to take Ellie, a young girl, across the country. She's special, immune to the fungus, and that makes her a target. It's not just a monster killing game though, it's really about Joel and Ellie's relationship. They're thrown together and they have to learn to trust each other even when things are really tough. It's like a really intense road trip where you don't know who's friendly and who's not. The game is super tense, you'll be sneaking around trying to avoid the infected because they're fast and dangerous. Sometimes you gotta fight and it's not always easy. You'll be using whatever you can find, pipes, bricks, even just your bare hands to survive. You'll also be scavenging for supplies like ammo, medicine, and crafting materials. It's like a survival game with a really strong story and characters. The story is what makes it stick with you. It's not just a simple good guys versus bad guys plot. It's about how people react when things get really bad, how they try to hold on to hope, and how they make tough choices. You'll get to know Joel and Ellie, and you'll see how they change and grow. There are sad moments, scary moments, and moments that make you think. Honestly, The Last of Us is a game that's about survival, relationships, and making tough choices. It's not always fun or easy, but it's a game that you'll remember long after you finish playing. It's like a story that stays with you, and it makes you think about what you do in a world like that. Metro Exodus. So Metro Exodus, you know those post-apocalyptic stories, right? This one's set in Russia, but it's not just another shoot-everything game. You're Artyom, and you're leaving the underground tunnels of Moscow, which are basically all that's left after a nuclear war. You're trying to find a place where people can actually live on the surface. It's like a really long, dangerous road trip across a messed up version of Russia.
Artyom, should we catch up with it?
What's neat about this game is the atmosphere. It changes with the seasons. You'll go from snowy winters where you're freezing your butt off to scorching deserts where you're baking in the sun. Each place has its own feel and its own dangers. It's not just a backdrop, it feels like a real place. You'll be scavenging for stuff like ammo and filters for your gas mask because everything is scarce. You have to be careful because you'll run into mutated creatures and other people who are trying to survive, and not all of them are friendly. It's a tense game, you're always on alert.
You made a mistake coming here.
The story is pretty solid. You'll meet different groups of people and you'll learn about their struggles and how they're trying to make a life in this messed up world. It's not just about shooting, it's about people trying to find hope in a really tough situation. Basically, if you're into games where you explore a dangerous world and try to survive, Metro Exodus is worth checking out. It's got cool action, a good story, and a really immersive atmosphere. It feels like you're actually there trying to make it through. Max Payne 3.
Something rotten in the air.
You've probably heard of Max Payne, right? Guy's had a rough time. This game picks up with him in Brazil, working as a bodyguard. It's not exactly a vacation. Here's the thing about this game, it's not just another shooter. It's got this slow motion thing called bullet time, which is pretty cool. You can dive around, shoot guys while time slows down. It's not just about spraying bullets, it's about making those shots count. The action is pretty intense. You'll be in shootouts in all sorts of places, from fancy clubs to rough neighborhoods. You're not just running and gunning, you're diving through windows, using cover, and trying to stay alive. It's got a real gritty feel to it. The story's dark too. Max is dealing with a lot of stuff, like his past and the fact that things keep going wrong. He's trying to protect the people he's working for, but it's not easy. It's like a crime thriller, but you're in the middle of it. You get to see a lot of Brazil in this game. You'll go to different places and they all have their own vibe. It's not just a backdrop, it feels like a real city. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. Right, so you are Geralt. Think of him like a detective who also fights monsters. He lives in this big old-timey world, kind of like if fairy tales were real, but also kind of scary. He's on a mission to find Ciri, who's like his adopted kid. It's a long journey, and you'll be traveling through all sorts of places, from spooky forests to bustling towns. You'll meet a lot of different people, some nice, some not so much, and you'll run into some seriously freaky creatures. This game isn't just about swinging a sword. You'll have to make choices that change how the story goes, like someone might ask you to help them, and depending on what you do, things can turn out really different. You'll also be solving mysteries. People will tell you about monsters or crimes, and you'll have to use clues to figure out what's going on. The world you explore is huge, like really huge. You can ride your horse through fields, sail on lakes, and climb mountains. You'll find hidden caves, old ruins, and all sorts of places to explore. There are also tons of side quests, so you can always find something new to do.
On the battlefield, necrophage.
The monsters are pretty cool. You'll fight everything from giant spiders to flying beasts. You can use different weapons, spells, and potions to take them down. Each monster is different, so you have to figure out the best way to fight it. The story is also pretty interesting. It's not just about finding Ciri. You'll learn about the different kingdoms, the people who live there, and the problems they face. It's like a big, complicated story, and you're right in the middle of it.
Half lion, half eagle.
Basically, Witcher 3 is a game where you get to be a monster hunter, a detective, and an adventurer. You'll explore a big world, make choices that matter, and fight some really cool monsters. It's a game that can keep you busy for a long time. Shadow of the Colossus. So, Shadow of the Colossus. Think of it like this. You're this person, Wander, and you're trying to bring someone back to life. But to do that, you've got to take down these huge living things called Colossi. They're like walking mountains, basically. You're all alone except for your horse Aggro in this really quiet, kind of sad place. It's just you, your horse, and these massive creatures. It feels really lonely, but also really big and important. Now here's the thing, you don't just shoot or punch these colossi, they're way too big for that. You have to figure out how to climb on them, like scaling a building. You'll be using your sword to find their weak spots, which are like glowing symbols on their bodies. Each Colossus fight is like a big puzzle. You have to figure out how to get to their weak points, which can be tricky. They might be flying, swimming, or just really hard to climb. You'll be using your horse to get around, and you'll have to be quick and smart to avoid getting crushed or thrown off. The world you explore is really beautiful, but it's also empty. There are no towns, no people, just you and the Colossi. It's like you're in a forgotten world, and it feels really special. Taking down a Colossus is intense. You'll be climbing on their fur, trying to hold on while they shake and try to throw you off. When you finally find their weak spot and stab them, it feels really rewarding. It's like you've accomplished something huge. The Talos Principle 2. So the Talos Principle 2 is one of those rare puzzle games that doesn't just test your brain, it straight up makes you question reality. If you played the first game, you already know the vibe. Mind-bending logic puzzles mixed with deep philosophical storytelling. But this one, it takes everything the original did and expands on it in the best way possible. First off, the puzzles. Oh man, these are some of the smartest, most rewarding challenges I've seen in any game. They start off simple, moving lasers, redirecting beams, stacking objects, but before you know it, you're juggling multiple mechanics at once, solving massive multi-stage puzzles that make you feel like a genius when you finally crack them. And the best part? They're never unfair. The game gives you all the tools, all the clues. You just have to put the pieces together. No cheap frustration, just pure aha moments. But here's the thing, the Talos Principle 2 isn't just about puzzles. The story is insanely good. You're in this world where humanity is gone, and all that's left are these advanced AI beings trying to figure out what it means to exist. Like, imagine if robots had to build their own civilization while also grappling with existential dread. The game constantly throws these deep, thought-provoking questions at you about free will, identity, consciousness, but it never feels like a lecture. It's just naturally woven into everything you do.
Is brave enough to answer its call. We await you upon our island.
And let's talk about the world. This game is gorgeous. Every location has this dreamlike, almost surreal beauty to it. Ancient ruins, futuristic cities, these massive open landscapes that make you stop and just soak it all in. It's not just some sterile puzzle game where you move from one test chamber to the next. This is a full-blown, open-ended journey where exploration actually matters. Easily one of the best puzzle games in years. A 10 out of 10, no question.
Adventure. And this game has everything you'd expect.
Indiana Jones and the Great Circle. This feels just like an indie movie. You travel to cool places, explore old ruins, and find hidden treasures. The story is good. Lots of exciting stuff happens. It keeps you guessing what will happen next. You've got the whip, the hat, the whole look. They nailed that part, at least. The whip feels good. That's a big deal, because if the whip sucks, the game kind of sucks. It's like Indy's whole thing. You do a lot of exploring, which makes sense. Indy's not just a brawler, he's an archaeologist, so you're checking out old ruins, finding hidden stuff, solving puzzles. That part sounds pretty cool. It's like being on a real adventure, digging up secrets and all that. The story is, well, it's an Indiana Jones story. You know the drill. Bad guys, ancient mysteries, Indy saving the day. It's not Shakespeare, but it's fun. It's like a good action movie. You don't go in expecting deep philosophical stuff. You go in for explosions and cool stunts, and this game surely delivers on that front. So, should you play it? If you like Indiana Jones, probably. It's not gonna blow your mind, but it's a fun time. You get to be Indy for a few hours, swing that whip, and explore some cool places. It's like a playable action movie. And honestly, sometimes that's exactly what you're looking for. Just a good, fun time. Don't expect the game of the year, but if you want some classic indie action, this might be worth checking out. Disco Elysium. Okay, Disco Elysium. This one's different. It's not your typical action-adventure, not your usual RPG. It's weird, but in a good way, like a really good way. It's a detective game, kind of. You're a cop, but not a very good one. You're a mess, actually. You're hungover, you've got amnesia, and you're trying to solve a murder, but it's not just about finding clues. It's about figuring out yourself. The whole game is built around dialogue, talking to people, exploring your own thoughts, arguing with your own brain. It's like your inner monologue is a character and you can choose what it says. It's wild. The writing is incredible, it's funny, it's dark, it's insightful. It's like reading a really good book, but you get to choose what happens, and the characters, they're all messed up, but in a relatable way. They've got their own problems, their own motivations. It's not just black and white, it's all shades of gray. There's no real combat, which is weird for a game about a cop. Instead, you've got skill checks. You try to do something, and your skills determine whether you succeed. It's like a tabletop RPG, but it's all happening in your head. It's not for everyone. It's slow, it's talky, and it's definitely not a power fantasy. You're not some badass hero. You're a flawed, broken person trying to do the right thing. But if you're into story-driven games, if you like to think and explore and get lost in a world, then Disco Elysium is definitely worth checking out. It's a unique experience, something you won't find anywhere else. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice. Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice is one of the most haunting and powerful games you'll ever play. It's dark, beautiful, and genuinely disturbing, but not in a cheap jump scare way. This is psychological horror done right, and by the end, you'll probably feel like you need to lie down for a bit. You play as Senua, a Celtic warrior, on a desperate quest to save the soul of her dead lover. But here's the thing, Senua is tormented by psychosis. She hears voices, sees hallucinations, and questions what's real. And the game doesn't just tell you this, it makes you experience it firsthand. You'll hear whispers in your ears, feel the paranoia closing in, and struggle with the constant dread of not knowing what's real. It's genuinely unsettling, but brilliantly immersive. The story itself is simple but incredibly emotional. Senua believes she can fight her way into Helheim, basically Viking hell, to rescue her lover's soul. But her journey is more personal. It's about facing grief, trauma, and mental illness.
Don't kill me.
As you play, you'll see glimpses of her past, the abuse she suffered, the loss she endured, and it makes her determination feel painfully human. But what makes Hellblade hit so hard is how it puts you in Senua's shoes. The voices in her head aren't just creepy background noise, they taunt you, confuse you, and sometimes even help you. One voice might warn you of an enemy attacking from behind, while another might mock you for being weak. Shh. It's constantly disorienting, making you second-guess everything, and when you're fighting for your life, those voices get louder and more frantic, making the tension absolutely nerve-wracking. The combat is brutal and raw, but it's deliberately simple. You're not some overpowered warrior, you're just Senua, fighting through her pain. The clashes feel slow and heavy, with every swing carrying weight. You'll dodge, block, and strike, but the real fight is the mental battle. The screen distorts when you're overwhelmed, and the voices scream louder, making you feel Senua's struggle with every step. Visually, Hellblade is stunning in the most unsettling way. The landscapes feel otherworldly, with twisting, surreal environments that blur the line between reality and illusion. You'll walk through forests made of bones, stand on beaches of blood-soaked sand, and stare into endless, haunting voids. The visual distortion effects and shifting environments make you constantly question what's real, which makes the whole experience feel like a fever dream. But the most powerful part of Hellblade is how raw and human it feels. The game doesn't glorify Senua's mental illness, it shows it with painful honesty. The developers worked with neuroscientists and people with psychosis to make the experience as authentic as possible, and it shows in every moment. It's not just a game, it's an emotional experience that puts you in the mind of someone battling inner demons.
Well, it's nice to meet you. And
The Forgotten City. The Forgotten City is one of those rare games that sneaks up on you. It starts off feeling like a simple mystery. You wake up in an ancient Roman city cursed by the gods. The twist, if even one person sins, everyone in the city is turned into gold. Your job is to figure out who's going to break the golden rule and stop them. The catch? You're stuck in a time loop, meaning every time the city falls, you restart the day with all your knowledge intact. At first it feels like a detective story, but the deeper you go, the more complex and morally twisted it becomes. You'll uncover dark secrets, philosophical debates, and staggering revelations that'll mess with your head. The writing is phenomenal. Every character feels flawed and believable with their own motives and struggles. Some are desperate, some are greedy, and some are just plain shady, making every interaction feel unpredictable. What makes the game so clever is how it rewards creativity. You can solve problems in multiple ways through persuasion, deception, or manipulation. And because of the time loop, you can get away with things you normally couldn't. Steal money? No problem, just reset the day and keep the cash. It makes you feel smart without ever feeling cheap. The city itself is hauntingly gorgeous. The golden statues, frozen in terrified poses, tell silent stories of suffering. The crumbling Roman architecture, paired with faint whispers of lost souls, creates an eerie, dreamlike atmosphere. It feels ancient, tragic, and surreal all at once. But the real brilliance of The Forgotten City is its philosophical depth. The game constantly challenges your morality, asking questions like, what is a sin? Or, do the ends justify the means? It doesn't spoon-feed you answers. Instead, it forces you to think for yourself, making every choice feel meaningful. And just when you think you have it all figured out, the game hits you with some wild twists that'll blow your mind. The final revelations are so shocking that you'll want to replay it just to catch all the clues you missed. Life is Strange 2. You play as Sean Diaz, a regular 16-year-old kid whose life gets flipped upside down in the worst way possible. One moment he's hanging out with his little brother Daniel, and the next their dad is shot by a cop. It's brutal, sudden, and it forces Sean and Daniel to run away. But here's the twist. Daniel has telekinesis. Yep, the kid can move objects with his mind, which is super cool, except when he accidentally causes chaos. The game isn't about superhero powers though, it's about the bond between the brothers. You spend the whole game traveling from town to town, trying to stay hidden while finding your way to Mexico, where you hope to start a new life. And because Daniel is still a kid, he learns from everything you do. If you steal food, he'll think it's okay to take what he wants, but if you choose kindness, he'll grow up believing in compassion. Your choices don't just affect you, they shape Daniel into the person he becomes. And man, it gets heavy. You'll meet strangers who offer kindness and others who treat you like dirt just because of who you are. The game isn't afraid to get real. It tackles racism, immigration, and police brutality. You'll feel how unfair the world can be, especially for two kids just trying to survive. But it's not all depressing. There are some beautiful moments too, like when the brothers camp out under the stars, roasting marshmallows and sharing goofy stories, or when Daniel goes full kid mode, getting excited over dogs, snow, and silly pranks. It's these small, warm moments that make the painful ones hit even harder. The choices you make feel real, and they're never easy. Do you teach Daniel to fight back against cruelty, or teach him to walk away? Do you put yourself at risk to help strangers, or keep Daniel safe no matter what? The game never judges you, but you'll feel the weight of your decisions. Visually, the game is gorgeous. The open roads, pine forests, and dusty deserts make the road trip feel authentic. You'll travel through sleepy towns, dusty motels, and camps full of wanderers, and each place has its own vibe. The art style is simple but emotional, making every sunset and rainy road feel poetic and bittersweet.
Nobody comes out here to picnic anymore. Well, that's good for us.
Kingdom Come Deliverance. Kingdom Come Deliverance is one of the most realistic RPGs ever made, but don't expect dragons or magic here. Instead, you're thrown into 1403 Bohemia, where you'll be fighting, drinking, and probably getting your ass kicked by some random peasant because you forgot to sharpen your sword. It's brutal, slow, and weirdly addictive. You play as Henry, a blacksmith's son, whose life goes to hell when his village is raided and burned down by a bunch of Hungarian invaders. You somehow survive, but your family gets slaughtered, so what do? Swear revenge? Nope. You wake up half-naked in a monastery, broke and completely useless in a fight, and that's exactly what makes it brilliant. The game doesn't hold your hand. You're weak, clumsy, and can barely swing a sword at first. You'll miss half your hits, get tired after 2 swings, and probably get wrecked by some drunk dude with a stick. But that's the beauty of it. You actually have to learn everything, from combat techniques to reading and even alchemy. It's slow, but rewarding as hell. And the combat system? Oh boy. It's not your typical hack and slash. It's weighty, technical, and honestly, kinda clunky at first. You'll be blocking, feinting, and trying not to stab yourself, and once you get good at it, fights feel intense and authentic.
Jesus Christ!
You'll be swinging at just the right angle, blocking perfectly, and absolutely wrecking some bandit who dared to mess with you. But the realism doesn't stop there. You'll need to keep Henry fed, well-rested, and clean. Yep, if you wander into town covered in blood and filth, people will avoid you. And if you wear noble armor, guards will treat you with respect. Even your speech skills matter. Dress like a noble and people will take you seriously. Show up looking like a homeless knight and they'll laugh you out of the castle. The world itself is stunning. It's not massive, but it's dense and beautiful. You'll be riding through lush forests, tiny villages, and authentic medieval towns. The game nails the atmosphere. You'll hear villagers chatting, blacksmiths hammering, and the occasional drunken brawl. It feels alive. Oh, and the little details, insane. Your armor degrades, so you'll need to repair it. Your sword gets dull, so you'll have to sharpen it. And if you don't clean yourself, people will literally complain about your stench. It's one of the most immersive worlds ever made for everyone. It's slow, tough, and frustrating at times, but that's exactly why it's so special. It makes every battle feel earned, every coin you make feel valuable, and every victory feel personal. If you want an RPG where you actually have to think, this one's an absolute must play.
I knew that the brothers were far too proud to ever lay down their guns.
Call of Juarez Gunslinger. Call of Juarez Gunslinger is one of the most underrated FPS gems out there, and I'm not even kidding. It's got tight gunplay, a killer Wild West setting, and a storytelling twist that makes the whole thing way more fun than you'd expect. It's short, sweet, and straight up badass. You play as Silas Graves, a grizzled old bounty hunter who shows up at a saloon and starts spinning wild tales about famous outlaws he supposedly fought. The cool part? You play through his flashbacks, but the dude exaggerates everything. 1 second you're fighting off 50 bandits, and the next he's like, actually it was 100, and boom, the game spawns more enemies right in front of you. The way the narration messes with the gameplay is hilarious and brilliant. The gunplay is where it shines. You've got classic revolvers, shotguns, rifles, and even dual-wielding pistols, making you feel like Clint Eastwood on steroids. The shootouts are fast, messy, and satisfying as hell. You'll be popping headshots in slow-mo, blowing bandits off balconies, and pulling off insane combos. And yeah, the slow-motion bullet time, That was pretty freaking cool. Anyway, the levels are fun as hell too. You'll be chasing outlaws through forests, fighting your way across moving trains, and surviving dynamite-filled ambushes. It's all super cinematic with tons of action-packed set pieces, but the real star is the storytelling twist. Since Silas is a lying bastard, you'll see the environment change mid-level as he revises his tale. You'll be fighting a group of outlaws, and suddenly he goes, wait, did I mention the Apache Warriors? And bam! Apache Warriors spawn out of nowhere. It's funny, creative, and makes the game feel unpredictable. Visually, the game's got a stylized comic book look with bold outlines and bright colors, which gives it a unique flair. It's like a graphic novel come to life, making every shootout feel stylish.
Billy. And maybe discretion was the better part of valor.
Control. At first, you're just walking around this weird government building called the Federal Bureau of Control. Sounds boring, right? But no, the place is alive. Like, literally. Walls move, rooms change shape, and nothing makes sense. You play as Jessie, and yeah, she's just thrown right into the chaos. She somehow becomes the new boss of this creepy place without even really knowing what's going on. But the best part, the gameplay, man. Like, the moment you get your hands on that shape-shifting gun, it's over. It's not just a regular gun either. It transforms into different types like a shotgun, a sniper, even a freaking mini missile launcher. But here's the real kicker. You also get psychic powers, like full-on telekinesis. You can straight up grab a chair with your mind and launch it at some weird floaty enemy's face. It's so damn satisfying. The combat in this game makes you feel like an absolute god. You're dodging bullets, floating in the air, throwing huge chunks of wall at people, blasting dudes with your weird alien gun, and it all flows so smoothly. Like, once it clicks, you just feel unstoppable. 1 second you're hiding behind a desk, the next you're flying across the room while launching debris and lighting up enemies like a freaking superhero. It's got that perfect rhythm where everything feels fast, smooth, and badass. Also, the world in Control is just super weird and mysterious in a good way. There's this constant feeling that something's off. People are floating in the air, whispering creepy stuff. You keep finding strange objects with bizarre powers, and nobody really tells you what's going on, but it keeps pulling you in. You want to explore every room, read every weird memo, and see just how deep this rabbit hole goes. So yeah, Control is one of the coolest third-person shooters out there. It's got top-tier gunplay, insane powers, and a world that just feels different in a really awesome way. If you want a game that makes you feel powerful as hell while also making you say, what the hell is going on every 5 minutes, this one's it. Claire Obscure Expedition 33. Okay, so Claire Obscure Expedition 33, man, this game really sneaks up on you. At first glance, you might think it's just another turn-based RPG, but nah, it's got this cool mix of old school and modern that actually makes it stand out. The story takes place in this kind of spooky version of old France, like the Belle Epoque era, but with a dark twist. Every year, this creepy figure called the Paintress paints a number in the sky, and anyone who hits that age just disappears, like gone without a trace. Pretty messed up, right? So a group of folks called Expedition 33 step up and say, we're not going down without a fight, and set out to hunt this Paintress down before she can claim more lives. You're not playing just one character here, you get a team of 4 with different skills and personalities. Gustav is your go-to engineer, Mayeye is the fiery fighter, Loon is the brainy scholar, and Ciel's the tough warrior type. Switching between them keeps the gameplay fresh because each one brings something different to the table. Now, the combat's where it gets interesting. Yeah, it's turn-based, so you're picking moves and planning your attacks like a classic strategy game, but it's not just a boring menu-click fest. When the enemies attack, you're actually jumping, dodging, or parrying in real time. Nail a perfect parry, and boom! You get extra points to use your special abilities sooner. So it's this fun back and forth between thinking ahead and reacting on the fly. It's not super crazy or frantic, but it definitely keeps you paying attention. Visually, the game is super atmospheric. I mean, for a AA game made by only like literally 30 people, it looks really good. Think foggy streets lit by old gas lamps, rundown mansions covered in creeping vines, and these surreal, almost painterly environments that make you feel like you're inside a dark fairy tale. The art style alone makes you want to stop and look around. It's one of those games that knows how to set a mood without shoving it in your face. And the story? It's tight, no filler quests or weird side stuff that drags things down. It's all about pushing forward, uncovering secrets, and getting closer to the Paintress. The writing hits some emotional notes too. You're invested in these characters, their struggles, and the world falling apart around them. There's some real weight behind what you're doing. So yeah, if you're into strategy games but hate when they get slow or grindy, Claire Obscure Expedition 33 is worth checking out. It's smart, it's got style, and it throws in enough real-time action to keep things exciting. Plus, the story and setting are super unique. It's like a dark, moody mystery wrapped in a tactical RPG. Definitely give it a shot if you want something that's both challenging and emotional without feeling like a slog. Final Fantasy X. Well, let's talk about a classic, Final Fantasy X. If you've never played this one, you're honestly missing out on one of the most iconic RPGs of all time. This game first dropped on the PlayStation 2, and even after all these years, it still holds up like a champ. It's got that timeless mix of emotional storytelling, lovable characters, and turn-based combat that feels just right. Step into the shoes of Tidus, a young pro athlete living his flashy life in a futuristic city called Zanarkand. One day, his world basically explodes, literally, and he ends up in this totally different place called Spira, a land filled with ancient ruins, temples, and a mysterious force of destruction known as Sin. What starts as a confusing journey to get home quickly becomes a deeper mission to help a young summoner named Yuna defeat Sin and bring peace to the world. Now, the story in Final Fantasy X isn't just good, it's gut-punch good. It explores themes like loss, sacrifice, destiny, and faith, and it does it in a way that really hits you. Tidus and Yuna's relationship is one of the most emotional love stories in gaming, and the final hours of the game, straight up heartbreaking. Gameplay-wise, it nails that perfect turn-based system where you can swap party members mid-fight and really think through your moves. The sphere grid, which is how your characters level up, gives you tons of freedom to shape your team the way you want. It's simple at first, but super deep once you get into it. Also, this was the first Final Fantasy to have voice acting, which made the characters feel way more alive, even if some of the delivery was a little meme-weavly. You know, that laugh scene. But honestly, that awkwardness kind of adds to the charm. Bottom line, Final Fantasy X is one of those rare games that sticks with you long after the credits roll. It's beautiful, it's emotional, it's epic, and if you're into story-driven RPGs, this one's essential. Far Cry 3. Far Cry 3 is one of the best Ubisoft games. Well, now we all know the state of modern Ubisoft, and it's kind of sad to see what amazing bangers they used to make years ago. Even now, years later, it still holds up like an absolute beast. Some people might say it's the best in the series, and honestly, they ain't wrong. The second you crash onto Rook Island, you know something's off. It's beautiful, crystal clear water, massive jungles, and sunshine for days. But it doesn't take long before you realize, oh crap, this place is completely messed up. Pirates, drug lords, slave traders, and crazy mercenaries. This island chews people up and spits them out. And right in the middle of all this, you, Jason Brody, just some rich, soft tourist who suddenly has to become a warrior to survive. And the best part? You actually feel that transformation. You go from panicking when you first pick up a gun to becoming an absolute predator, silently wiping out entire enemy camps with just a bow and some sneaky takedowns. But let's talk about Vaas. Oh man, this dude isn't just another bad guy, he's one of the greatest villains in gaming, period. He's insane, but not in that over-the-top cartoony way. Nah, this dude is scary because he feels real. Every time he talks, you feel trapped, like you don't know what he's gonna do next. That one monologue about the definition of insanity, iconic. You never know whether he's about to laugh or put a bullet in your skull. And that keeps you on edge the entire game. And the gameplay? Still smooth as hell. The combat is just chef's kiss. Guns feel powerful, stealth is actually fun, and the takedown system, brutal in the best way. And the world, it's pure chaos. One second you're sneaking up on a group of enemies, the next, a tiger jumps out of nowhere and does the job for you. Or maybe you accidentally set an entire field on fire while trying to take down an outpost. Stuff just happens in Far Cry 3, and it's always awesome. The Hades is just smooth, it's stylish, it's fun, it's addictive, it's a roguelike, which means you're going to die a lot. Like, a lot, but it never feels frustrating because every time you die, you get a little bit stronger, a little bit closer to escaping the underworld. You play as Zagreus, Hades' son, and you're trying to get out of hell. Your dad's not too happy about it, so he's throwing all sorts of monsters and traps in your way, but you've got the gods on your side, and they're giving you boons, special powers that change how you play. The combat is fantastic. It's fast, it's fluid, and it's satisfying. You've got different weapons, different builds, so you can always try new things. And the gods' boons, they can completely change the game. You can become a lightning god, a poison god, a god of dashing. It's wild. The art style is gorgeous, it's vibrant, it's colorful, it's just cool. And the music, amazing. It's catchy, it's energetic, it gets you pumped up for each run. But the best part? The story. Even though you're dying over and over again, the story keeps moving forward. You're learning more about the characters, their relationships, their motivations, and the voice acting is top-notch. Everyone sounds great, and the dialogue is witty and charming. Hades is just a perfectly crafted game. It's got great gameplay, a great story, great art, great music. It's just great. It's one of those games that you can pick up and play for a few minutes or a few hours, and you'll always have a good time. It's addictive, it's rewarding, and it's just fun. If you haven't played it yet, you're missing out. Seriously, go play it. You won't regret it. Baldur's Gate 3. First off, it's based on Dungeons and Dragons, like really based on D&D. They've taken the rules, the classes, the spells, and put it all into this game. So if you're a D&D fan, you're gonna feel right at home. But even if you've never rolled a d20 in your life, there's a lot to love here. The story is epic, the characters are memorable, and the world is just begging to be explored. You've got choices to make, quests to complete, and all sorts of shenanigans to get into. The combat is turn-based, which might not be everyone's cup of tea, but it's strategic, it's tactical, and it can be incredibly rewarding. You've got to think about your moves, plan your attacks, and use your abilities wisely. It's like a chess match, but with swords and spells. And the freedom, man, the freedom in this game is insane. You can do almost anything. You can talk to anyone, you can fight anyone, you can even romance almost anyone. It's your story, and you get to decide how it plays out. It's not a short game by any means. It's a long, involved adventure that can easily take you hundreds of hours to complete, but it's worth it. It's a game that you can get lost in, a game that you'll be thinking about long after you're done playing. Baldur's Gate 3 is a special game. It's a love letter to D&D, it's a showcase for great storytelling, and it's just a damn good RPG. If you're looking for a game that's deep, engaging, and full of possibilities, then this is the one. Just be prepared to lose a lot of sleep. You've been warned.
Attack.
Yakuza like a dragon, Gaiden. Okay, so this is a bit of a different beast, even for the Yakuza series, which is already pretty wild. This isn't a mainline Yakuza game, it's more of a spin-off, a side story, focusing on Kiryu, the series' longtime protagonist. But he's not the Kiryu you're used to. He's lost his memory, or he's pretending to, it's a whole thing. He's going by a different name, Joryu, and he's basically trying to lay low, trying to stay out of trouble, which for Kiryu is basically impossible. The game takes place between Yakuza 6 and Yakuza Like a Dragon, so it's filling in a gap in the story, showing what Kiryu was up to during that time. And it's a pretty important gap because it sets up some stuff for later games. Gameplay-wise, it's still Yakuza, so you've got your brawling, your mini-games, your crazy side quests, but it's a little different this time around. Kiryu's fighting style is a bit more refined, I guess you could say. He's got some new moves, some new abilities, and he's just generally a badass. As always, the story is interesting. It's not as epic as some of the other Yakuza games, but it's still a good story. It's more personal, more focused on Kiryu's internal struggles. He's trying to figure out who he is, what he wants, and what he's willing to do to protect the people he cares about. And the setting, it's a mix of familiar locations and new ones. You'll be going back to Kamurocho, of course, because you can't have a Yakuza game without Kamurocho. But you'll also be exploring some new areas, which is always nice. Yakuza Like a Dragon Gaiden is a shorter game than the mainline Yakuza titles. It's more of a focused experience, a smaller story that fits into the larger Yakuza universe. It's not essential to understanding the main plot, but it's a good way to spend some time with Kiryu and see what he's been up to. If you're a Yakuza fan like me, because this entry in the series has become one of my most favorite, you'll probably enjoy it too. It's a solid entry in the series, even if it's not the biggest or the most groundbreaking. It's just Kiryu being Kiryu, and sometimes that's enough.
Or Hanama-san's.
Ori and the Will of the Wisps. This one is, it's just wow. Visually, it's stunning. Like, seriously, it's one of the prettiest games I've ever seen. It looks like someone painted it and then it came to life. The colors are bright, the world is lush, and everything just moves so smoothly. Ori, the little creature you play as, he's so graceful, it's mesmerizing to watch him jump and dash around. It's a Metroidvania, which means you're exploring this big map, finding new powers and unlocking new areas as you go. Think of it like a puzzle box. At first, there are parts you can't reach, but as you get new abilities, you can go back and explore those areas. It's satisfying to see the world open up as you progress. The gameplay feels really good. It's tight, it's responsive, or you can jump, dash, climb, and learn all sorts of other cool moves. It can be challenging, but it never feels unfair. The controls are so smooth, it just feels great to move around. You'll be zipping through the levels, dodging enemies, and solving puzzles with ease. The story is simple, but it's touching. Ori's trying to save the forest, and he meets a bunch of interesting characters along the way. It's a story about friendship, bravery, and making sacrifices. It's not super complicated, but it's emotionally resonant. You'll connect with Ori and the other characters, and you'll care about what happens to them. The levels are cleverly designed, the world is interconnected, so you're constantly finding shortcuts in hidden areas. The levels themselves are challenging, but they're also fun to explore. You'll have to use all of Ori's abilities to get through them, which makes it feel rewarding when you finally reach a new area. Ori and the Will of the Wisps is a fantastic game. It's beautiful, it's challenging, and it's emotionally engaging. It's a game that you can get lost in for hours, and it's a game that you'll remember long after you're done playing. If you like Metroidvanias, or if you just appreciate a well-made game, you absolutely have to play this. It's a work of art, plain and simple. Just go play it. You won't be disappointed. Hi-Fi Rush. Okay, so in Hi-Fi Rush, you are Chai, who's just a normal rockstar guy. Did that come off cool? Well, anyways, this game is just cool. It's like someone took a cartoon, a rock concert, and a video game and mashed them all together. It's a rhythm game, which means the music is super important.
You said you'd help out? Maybe this wasn't such a...
It's not just background noise, it's part of the gameplay. Everything you do, from hitting enemies to dodging attacks, is tied to the beat. You play as this dude, Chai, who's trying to become a rock star. He gets this robotic arm, and suddenly he's a target for this big evil corporation. The story is kind of silly, but it works. It's not trying to be some deep, meaningful narrative. It's just a fun, goofy story to keep things moving. The game looks awesome. It's all cel-shaded, which means it looks like a comic book. The colors are bright, the characters are stylish, and it's just visually appealing. It's like watching a cartoon come to life. It's got a really unique look. But the real magic of this game is the gameplay. It's all about hitting the beat. When you attack on the beat, you do more damage. It's a simple idea, but it's so satisfying. And as you get better, your combos get flashier, more stylish. It's like you're putting on a show while you're fighting. It's really cool. The music is great. It's a mix of original songs and some licensed tracks, and it all fits the game perfectly. It's upbeat, it's catchy, and it gets you pumped up for every fight. You'll be tapping your foot and nodding your head along with the music without even realizing it. The boss fights are a blast. They're challenging, but they're also creative. Each boss has its own rhythm, its own patterns that you have to learn. It's like a musical puzzle. You've got to figure out how their attacks sync with the music and then use that knowledge to take them down. And when you finally do, it feels great. Hi-Fi Rush isn't a super complicated game. It's not trying to be some deep strategic RPG. It's just trying to be fun. And it nails it. It's a game that you can pick up and play for a few minutes or a few hours, and you'll always have a good time. It's energetic, it's stylish, and it's just pure, unadulterated fun. If you're looking for something different, something that's not your typical action game, then definitely give this a try. It's a refreshing change of pace, and it's guaranteed to put a smile on your face. It's just a good time, plain and simple.